You wouldn't give the special people in your life a generic brown box of things for their birthday. You give gifts so perfectly personal that even if you forgot to sign the card, they still know it's from you. 1-800-Flowers.com is here to help you do more of that. Make every birthday brighter with exclusive offers and great values on gorgeous bouquets and arrangements. To order today, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
At ADP, we understand the importance of building the right team and offer the data insights to help. Just as importantly, our AI technology helps you pay the team accurately. Grow stronger with ADP. HR, talent, time, and payroll.
You're listening to the Getting Salty Experience podcast.
That's right. You listen to the best GD self-proclaimed podcast in the whole wide world, right, Roof? I'm not even saying first responder. I'm saying the best one in the whole wide world.
Really?
Joe Rogan, who? What? Yeah,
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's us. Getting Salty Experience podcast.
Peter, give him one.
Joe Rogan.
My.
Oh, my.
Yes, dickhead.
Oh, no, not that one.
Is that the one? No.
Yeah, I like it.
Joe Rogan doesn't bring the Firehouse Kitchen table to you.
That's true.
Only me, Roofy, and Petey Pete's bring the Firehouse Kitchen table to you guys, the one and only. We're back.
Right.
Anything happens, as you can see the past couple of shows, anything happens at the kitchen table. Everything happens at the kitchen table. Sometimes nothing happens at the kitchen table. Sometimes something happens and we say nothing happened. Sometimes something really happens and something really happens, you know.
Did you have coffee already?
I had an espresso.
I knew that was coming.
I told you I got a new cappuccino maker for my daughter's boyfriend.
Oh, all right. I didn't know you were partaking before the show.
What was that, Petey?
No offense, but it sounds like that's some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Where is that from?
Oh, that's when Norm Macdonald roasted Sarah Silverman talking about herself in the third person.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you do. You know.
I'm ready.
Darren said espresso my ass. That's the 80s right there, Darren. That's a couple of 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
1, 2 for you.
Him?
What do you need? A little something?
Should we tell him?
A little something for you, a little toot roots, maybe 1, 2 for you. What?
What do we want to do? We want to tell them who the show is brought to them by, or do we want to do our pledge and then do the
Let's do the pledge first. Let's get right out there and be patriotic.
All right, guys, here we go.
I don't want to have to do the disclaimer again. We did it once before. We're not standing up unless you want a bull shot. So
I'm gonna while the flag goes full screen, we're gonna all the hat and all that stuff. So here we go. Oh, hold on. There we go.
There we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And that is all.
Beautiful.
See that?
Baby
now we figured it out.
The fidget midget.
Oh my God.
I think me and QC Base are gonna have to meet up somewhere, bro. Maybe a parking lot or something. You know what I mean?
That guy's got a smart mouth.
Dude, that's not bad though. You're a little fidgety.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah. Maybe
I'm
you always have coffee beforehand?
You
actually?
Dick.
Me?
No, not you.
You
QC.
always have? No.
Yes, dickhead.
Yeah.
You
Not
always have
before
a
every
special
show.
before you come on? You do?
No, I had a nice little afternoon one. Late afternoon. Yep.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Maybe that was the reason how you
right.
you're full
Maybe.
energy.
Could be.
Why
Why don't you do a little sponsor here, Pete?
Yeah, our sponsor tonight is, guess what? Ourselves. GettingSaltyApparel.com, where you will find the coolest, freshest, most fly. That's right, I use those words. Apparel and accessories, firefighter apparel and accessories to be exact. You get your hoodies there. It's hoodie season. Get them on. Hats. I think we have beanies too, right, guys?
We have a few beanies left.
Yep. Check them out now.
We got the Goopalinis.
Yeah, we got some Goopalines. So go on over to GettingSaltyApparel.com, guys. If you have a firefighter friend or family in your life, then you need to get a little something special for. That's gettingsaltyapparel.com. Also, everybody here live with us tonight, hit us up in the super chat. If you guys just want to throw us a few shekels because we're your favorite firefighter podcast out there, that's how we sponsor the show. You guys sponsor us as well. We always appreciate the super chat. So throw us a few shekels in there and we will read your comments. All right, there it is.
Beautiful. Beautiful thing.
Chief Cleout is in the house.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
I saw somebody else. Well, Fat Man, Daddy Ray's back in the chat too.
The fattest of all the
fat with a PH.
Faticus. PH.
Yep, fat with a PH. Yeah, we got a different type of show tonight. We got a guy who's got on way back in the 60s. Yeah, he was in a busy place. Didn't spend much time there, but fate brought him other places. And like I was saying to Louie and Pete in the chat beforehand, that there are many ways that you can be involved in the fire service, and this man definitely found a way to be involved in the fire service. Would you say, Ruffy? Would you concur?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that when we first talked about getting him on the show was he was involved with the People's Firehouse with 212. Everybody kind of knows the story, but this guy was involved, firsthand in that. So I was kind of interested in hearing his story about that, and I was actually talking to him about that in the pre-show too about that. So.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hold on one second. I got to take a time out. Odie. Come here.
Should I mute him or?
No.
Right.
You're not going to yell at him?
I thought you were going to beat him like you did.
No, I feel bad. I feel bad. I went ape shit on him a little bit before the show because he was making noise. Now I feel bad. I got to make up with him.
Rub his head. Kick him out.
I lost. What daddy do? He lost his what? I lost my cookie. Felt bad. I lost my cookies. Lost my cookies on him.
Man, all right, handle your personal business on your own. Beat your kids on your own time. You got a guest. Come on.
All right, let's get to our guest.
What the hell is this shit?
Do we say, man? We say he got on back in the day in the 60s? I don't want to say he's on
when he got on.
I think maybe I was born when the year that he got on or something. I don't know. Let's bring. Oh, and by the way, we've been saying his name wrong. It's Mike Hyam, not with the Hyam.
What are you talking about?
I thought it was Higgum, Mike Higgum. But he says Mike Hyam. So let's bring in both Mike Hyam and Mike Higgum. Here he is, Mike Higgum / Hyam. There it is.
How you doing?
How do you say it, Mike? Mike Hyam or Mike Higgum?
Hyam. Just H-I-G-H and then A-M after that. People very rarely get it right, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
No worries.
I got it wrong. Ruffy got it wrong. My wife got it wrong. I got Mike Hyam on today. She goes, Mike Higgum? I go, no, Mike Hyam. You're saying it wrong.
I see all the fire pics in the back there. Nice.
Yeah, nice. Yep. Welcome to the show, fella. So let's get right into. We didn't do a word of the day, did we?
That's all right. I think this one is a drink on your own accord.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe we should have the audience throw one up and see the best one that they could throw up.
Oh my God, they'll say fire.
Yeah, no. All right. Let's get into Mike Hyam's career, shall we? All right, Mike, where are you from originally? What neighborhood you grew in? What neck of the woods, nip of the neck, did you come from?
I lived in Westerly in Staten Island on Khyber Court, which is around the corner from the National Guard Armory, about a quarter mile from Clove Lakes Park. It was a real great place to live. The street I lived on was a lot of firemen and cops and sanitation workers. Real blue collar place.
You have any family on the job, or cops, or firemen? Anybody?
My father and my grandfather. My grandfather was a cop with one of, where they used to wear that hat and the helmet in the NYPD.
Back in the day.
And yeah, back in the day, way back in the day.
Way back.
And my father was a Port Authority officer.
Wow.
And when it came, after I got out of the Navy, I took the test, the cops test and the fireman's test. And I got a 98 on the cops test and 93 on the fire. And there was a fire captain, George Harrison, that lived across the street from me. And I was discussing with him about which job to take, and he says, "Take the fire job. It's a good job."
Really?
Something about the way he said "good job" that really connected. And I'm so glad. I thank my lucky stars that that's the way I went.
What did your dad say when you said you're going to take the FD?
He just wanted to have me to get. He said civil service.
That's
service.
it, right?
Listen, you're talking, you're preaching to the choir here. That's what I'm telling my son. Take that test. Take that test. Take that test. Come on, Nick. Take that test. When's that next test, Nick? When's it coming up?
Take them all. Take them all.
My father moved. He was on a job at the bridges and the tunnels throughout the city, and he moonlighted in the stagehands union. And he used to be on the Johnny Carson show, Dark Shadows, Sid Caesar.
Wow!
I mean,
Oh my God, that's
he
hilarious.
was on all of those. And one time we went to a filming of the Honeymooners. Jackie Gleason.
I just watched the marathon on the first every January 1st.
My brother and I, we met Art Carney, who was a real.
Oh my God, that's awesome!
Wow, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Holy shit! You're talking that is way back, right? All right, so you take. Let's talk about the Navy a little bit. So you were on a submarine, right? A submarine tender.
Submarine tender. It's like a floating shipyard that's stationed in the home port of this, with a submarine at the submarine state, at the submarine bases. And they'd pull up next to us, and we'd go down and work on the submarines. You go into they had the Polaris submarines that at that time, and it had 16 tubes with enough missiles that could destroy the whole world with one submarine. And you go down in there, and they call it Sherwood Forest.
Nice. They were stacked up all over.
And then we'd have to go down, work around the reactor, and we'd have to wear film badges. And they never told us what the film badges said. So I guess it was all right, but made you wonder at the time.
And where was this? Where were you stationed? Was it here in New York, or was it
New London, Connecticut?
Oh, right. That's where the submarines are up there, right?
And the USS Fulton, which was so old that it still had wooden decks.
Wow.
And then I got on the USS Canopus, and we put that into commission. We were stationed in Charleston, and then in Rota, Spain.
You sure it wasn't the USS Cannabis? Back in the day, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
The other guys on the other ship used to call it the can of pussy.
Oh shit! Wow! When you traveled around, right? When the Navy came into town, that's it. Fleet Week, right? When you came into town, that's it, baby.
I love it. All right, so you take the test, you get called for the FD, and in 1968, right?
Right.
I don't want to burst your bubble, Mike, but that's when me and Louie were born. So I don't want to make you feel old right now. I don't want to do that to you. But all right, so you get out at 68, and they send you to Harlem. Now, how did you get the 14 truck? Did you know somebody, or what happened?
No, it was just luck of the draw.
There we go, Louie. How many times did we hear that?
To know somebody, I just, I just went wherever they sent me, and one of the black firefighters, when he saw where I was going, he says, "Tell me you're a brother over there." It's like, but I pulled into, found a parking spot on 125th Street there, and walked into the firehouse, and I had my boots and my rubber turnout coat and my helmet, and about halfway into the firehouse, this guy walks up to me, and it's Bob O'Brien. He says, "Hi, Mike. I'm Bob O'Brien. I'm going to be your company officer." And he says, "I want you to do one thing." He says, "I want you to be the best firefighter you could possibly be."
Nice.
Right? Okay. About 20 minutes later,
you let him down.
we get called out. It's a fire in a vacant building that had cinder blocks in all the windows. The first floor was open, and there was a fire going. It had been a store, and there was a fire going on the first floor, and it was extending into the second floor. And so he gets us up on the fire escape, and me and the forcible entry man, Marty Hughes, and he says, "Okay, open that up." So we start busting the bricks out, the cinder block out with the axe, and like we get a hole open, and I go, hey, we ventilated, man. That's it. He says, okay, come on, we're going in. Hold on the back of my coat. and I go in, and I mean, you know, I was about ready to barf with all that smoke and everything, and stings your eyes. And after the fire was knocked down and smoke cleared, I'm looking around. There's a hole that big over here, and another one over there, and like you could have went right through like in 2 minutes, 2 seconds. And so man, it's a pretty dangerous job.
so maybe I should have been a cop. I don't know.
I think I'd rather deal with fire than with people.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
But after that, it was about a month. It was maybe a month after I was in the firehouse. We get a fire in what we thought was a vacant brownstone, and we pull in, and the front door is wide open. The interior stairway is just completely involved in fire, and this was the first time they assigned me to the roof. They did it with another guy, but Tommy Robertson. So we go up to the roof in the adjoining building, and man, it's just like everything's spongy. You know, we open the scuttle, and it's like a flame shoots 20 feet up in the air. And we look at each other and go, hey, man, we better get off this roof. And he spots a guy hanging out the back top floor window. And let me back up a little bit. Just stop it right there. I want to go back. What happened a month after I got into the company was we had a fire in a 5-story tenement. And we forced the door and and the engine starts moving in, and the line burst. So, you know, the fire was coming out in the hall. So they got the door closed, and the officer sent me down to the floor below, the 4th floor. And I get down there, and I hear, help, help, coming from one of the apartments where the door was open. And I go in, and I look out the window, and here's Bill Merritt from 26 truck, hanging by his fingertips with fire blowing out the top of the window.
Holy shit.
He's wearing those, you know, those old rubber gloves they had?
Yeah.
The rubber gloves start igniting, and he went down 5 stories.
Holy shit.
And it was a miracle he survived, but that was the end of his career. So, and like when I saw that, it was like.
So you were only on a month or a couple of months is what you're saying?
In the firehouse a month.
Holy shit.
And like, I was like, holy shit. And I think there was a Chief Brennan working, and I turned around, Chief, give me something to do, please. You know, it was like that. And so after that, some guy came around selling like a personal rope, like a 30-foot piece of rope you could carry in your pocket. And it had a clasp on one end and a loop on the other end. And, you know, the guys would talk at the kitchen table, we'd talk about, well, maybe if you got into his situation, you could wrap it around a radiator and bail out and get to the floor below. So, you know, I'm carrying that, and I had that in my mind. And I was always patting my pocket and going, hey, you know, if I get into that, it's gonna, that's what I'm going to do. And so we got that fire I was just telling you about, where they forced the door and the line burst.
Right.
And I went down to 4th floor, and I'm hearing help, and I look out, and there's Bill.
Merritt.
I'm getting my stories mixed up. Go back to the one.
That's all right, bro.
The one in the brownstone. And he spots the guy in the window. Like, kind of like, I know, it was just like automatic. I took the rope out, I wrapped it around a vent pipe, and lowered it to him and said, hold on to the rope until they come with the ladder. Well, he wasn't hearing nothing about it. He just bailed out right away. So we're standing in the back of the brownstone. There's no parapet or anything like that. We're standing there thinking, well, should we pull him up? And then we seen him coming with the ladder. First guy with the ladder has, I think it was a 24-foot wasn't long
Short.
enough.
Yeah,
The
short.
second one was 35, and they placed it right next to it. And this guy I don't know what the fireman's name was, but he starts climbing. He was on the 24-foot one, and he kind of jumped sideways onto the 35.
Nice.
Went up, and we had kind of moved the guy away from where the window, the fire was venting out the window, and he pulled him off the end of the rope. And
Nice.
and like 5 minutes later, the section where we were standing collapsed.
No shit.
So,
Well, that's right. You were saying it was spongy, right? You said it was all.
Yeah.
it was spongy all over the place, man. You know, and it was usually it's like the most senior guy is going to be the roof man, but it was me and another guy that was maybe had 2 years on the job. I don't know. That's the way it worked out. But get back to the firehouse, and they go. Somebody says, Captain wants to see you. And I go, oh shit, man. I wonder if I'm in trouble. Maybe if I'm not using the right rope or whatever, you know. So he goes in there and he says, hey, tell me what happened. And I tell him what happened. He says, okay. And he called me back in about 5 minutes. He says, I'm writing you up. And I said,
Nice.
I'm losing my job.
Write him up.
Wrote me up. And me and the other guy got a Class A for that.
Wow, that's freaking awesome, man.
So
That's
was
freaking
good.
awesome.
And there was another occasion where there was some firemen were cutting the roof open and the wind shifted, and they got them out of. They were stuck in the corner of the building, and we got them. They got him with the towel ladder, got him off, and we got a unit citation.
Nice.
I didn't really have much to do with that, but we got a unit citation.
Well, you guys were riding on the outside back then, right? What was it, 68?
We're riding where? We're 68, yeah.
No. You
Oh,
were
he was saying
it was
riding on the outside of the rig.
outside of the rig, I'm saying. Yeah.
Not unlike the side step, they had a seat behind the chauffeur's seat, behind the cab. But I'll tell you another one. This was the second towel ladder that was put into service. So it got special calls all over the place because, maybe Chief wanted to see one.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about that the other night, Ruffy, when they said they had the special call 14 truck to the fire in the Bronx, right?
Yeah, well, this one we got special call to Far Rockaway
Holy
on a
shit.
cold January night.
That's when it sucks to be the only towel ladder on the job.
Yeah, right. Forget about the
It
borough.
sucks to be in the towel ladder when it's cold.
The chief had to kind of make up stuff to use us to show that he used us. But
I got
that was
you.
a
That
cold
makes
ride
sense.
going back. I'll tell you that much.
Just riding there and back, it was cold, right? Forget about operating down there.
There was a little trap door, so a little door above the engine where it threw out a little heat. You could put your hands up there, but that was it. That was it.
And you got that rig was there when you got there?
Yeah.
But
I'd seen it at the Rock. They had gone over to the Rock for training. I never figured I was going to wind up on that particular truck, but it was really towel
Were they
ladder.
the first towel ladder roof? 14?
No, first one. Guess where they put the first one? One truck down by.
Well, I was
City.
going to say one truck, man.
I was going to say downtown.
So that's what the guys kept saying. They're the showpiece, and we're the one that are going to demonstrate how you can do it in the ghetto.
So you really must have been going all over the place for any type of bucket job,
The Bronx,
anything big,
went to
fourth,
the
fifth
Bronx a
alarm,
lot.
right? Third, fourth, fifth, something where they needed,
Well, they're just so great. I mean, it's tough if you're going to the roof. It's or any place you're going on a ladder. You're about wore out by the time you get climbing up a stick.
6 stories, right? With a saw and whatever, right?
And the towel ladder, you got all your strength left when you get to where you're going. And then if you got people hanging out a window here and a window there,
Right, you can pluck them quick.
you can pluck them here. You wouldn't have to get one, climb down the ladder, move the ladder.
Right. That makes yeah.
So
You know what, Ruffy? And all the times you talk about sticks and towel ladder, I always say I want the sticks because it goes quick. I never thought about that because when I used to climb
thing
The
was,
aerial, my knee was be on fire, bro. It would be burning by the time I got
the
to
aerial was so much fat. Like the towel ladders,
it's slow.
they were
you could
so
throw the sticks
slow,
really quick, man.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the one that they had back then was fast, but the 95, the towel ladder in 117 was very slow to bucket. I mean, it was good, like you said. Once you got there, it was great. You could keep all your shit in there and get off the roof like a gentleman and take the saw out, and you weren't tired, like you said. But
Right.
And
That's a great point, though.
The other thing, I just watched again your podcast with Tommy McTeague. I worked with Tommy McTeague, and just about all the officers and people he was talking about. And you say you got to be crazy to get on this job. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just, that was the Tommy McTeague I knew, with a lot more energy.
yeah, oh my God, that's great. I can't even imagine that guy in his prime.
I think he was a Golden Gloves boxer or something. That's why he likes wearing that.
The robe, maybe.
Yeah.
Either that or he's a flasher. I don't know.
I think it's a flasher. Yeah,
but I just love Tommy. He's really really a great guy.
How much work were you going to back then, Mike? Like,
they were doing about 4,000 runs a year, but unlike the Bronx, not a whole lot of false alarms.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was work.
Who were some of the guys there that you remember that really stick out to you that kind of started you, molded you into what you wanted to do?
The one that standed out was Bob O'Brien, who was the one that said, "I want you to be the best firefighter." Well, he wasn't kidding, and I mean, the senior guys are telling me about a story where he carried an unconscious victim over his shoulder down a towel ladder.
Socks are the #1 most requested item at homeless shelters. Underwear second, and shirts are third. At Bombas, socks were first, made with comfortable details for everyday wearing. Then underwear, and shirts too, all designed to perfectly fit. At Bombas, every item you purchase means you're donating an essential clothing item to someone in need. One comfortable clothing item for you, one donated to someone in need. Bombas, comfort for all. Get 20% off your purchase at bombas.com/comfy.
Every year, compliance regulations change thousands of times, and every year ADP makes thousands of seamless platform updates so businesses can focus on everything else, like running their business. Grow stronger with ADP, HR, talent, time, and payroll.
He had just all kinds of grabs. He just was well respected.
He was the captain there, Mike?
No, he was a lieutenant. He made captain when he moved over to 40 truck on the other end of 125th Street.
Yeah.
But Vinny Dunn made a comment on one of the pictures I had of him. Called him Mr. Harlem. And yeah, I think that's right.
So you were on the east side of Harlem, right? 14 trucks. You were running with 26?
125th and Lex.
Right.
Yeah. We ran it a lot with 26 and 58, 40. Just depending on
that was a single truck, right? Were they single truck there? No.
We were a single truck.
Yeah. Who was like 35 and 36 were there, right? The engines were right around the corner from each.
Yeah, 36 was around the corner. And
was that where the firehouse was actually right on the next block from each other?
Yeah, like right around the corner.
Yeah, like right around the corner from each other, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been cool, though. A single truck in Harlem during the war years, bro.
A single truck with the 12th Battalion. Yeah. And
even better with the battalion, bro.
Well,
yeah, maybe not.
Joe Galvin was in the 12th Battalion, and he was really great at fires and everything. He didn't make you spend a whole lot of time in overhaul. He got the job done, but he was kind of like spit and polish. Military bearing, I guess. He had been a submariner during the World War II.
Wow.
And he had a story about they dove one day and they left him up there, and He was kind of floating around, waiting for him to pick up. I don't know if that's one of them stories that guys just tell, but that was there. But he was kind of finicky in a way, because he would come in. Guy would be sitting at the house watch, not say nothing to them, go upstairs, call the officer, and tell the officer to have the house watchman sweep the sidewalk in front of the house. Now you're talking about 40 feet of sidewalk on 125th Street where the wind blows, So we had this one guy named Roger Little, Liddle, and he was kind of built pretty good, and he used to call him Roger Big, and he was a chauffeur, and he was at the house watch one day, and Galvin went and did his thing, and he had enough. And he did about a 15-minute rant at the top of his voice about how stupid it was to be doing that. And I guess one of the guys said that Galvin was standing by the pole hole listening to all of that. And guess what? That didn't happen again.
Really?
That did it.
No shit.
But the other thing is People's Firehouse. When the people took over, 300 people went in and took over the firehouse, the cops called the division and asked them to come there and decide what to do. And they asked them, should we, get them out of here? And Galvin says, no, let them stay here. It's the People's Firehouse. And that's how they got the name.
Is that right?
People's Firehouse.
And that was the same guy.
Same guy.
No
and the other chief I worked with was Homer Bishop.
Oh, wow. Man, Homer Bishop.
Who was, like O'Hagan's right-hand man, and was involved very heavily with the Rand study. So that's where, all these things kind of collided with me, all these people. Wow. But I'll tell you about the Rand study when we get to that point. But
yeah, we could segue. All right, so you're only a few years, and then you get hurt, right? In 14 truck, is that correct? Yeah. And then you move on. And at what point do you get involved? You have various jobs in between, right? In the early part of the 80s.
Oh, I worked as a roofer. I drove cabs in Manhattan. I did whatever it took.
How did you feel when you left? When you had to get out of the job? Like what were you?
I hated it. I loved the job, and I was, after I did that rope rescue, I asked the captain. I said, "What do you got to do to get into a rescue company?" And he just sat back and smiled and said, "You should go talk to the captain of the rescue company." and looking back, I know I would have never made it, man. I just wasn't physically built to do that, and or as handy or whatever, But
yeah.
But I really just loved the job. And,
So that's what I was saying in the pre-show. Unfortunately, you had to get out, but you still kept involved in the fire service for 40 years after that, or longer?
Right up until now.
Right. So tell us how you got involved with in 75. You said 75 to 77. You and your wife got involved with the People's Firehouse, 212, when they were going to try to close that fire.
My wife and I. Well, what happened was we moved to a 4-story walk-up in Staten Island near the ferry in St. George. And, we were just looking for the cheap rent because I didn't have much money coming in or anything. And we were living on the top floor. And I started looking at things and okay, they'd have to do a 300-foot stretch just to get to the lobby because it was on a hill. And I'm on the top floor, and they just eliminated the first due engine 154, about a year or so before.
You got to get the hell out of here.
So I start I start investigating, trying to find out, well, how could they justify doing such a thing? And I think I spoke to somebody in the union, or the fire officers union. I think his name was John McGarty. He was a captain, and he turned me on to these people, Rod Wallace and Deborah Wallace, who were like scientists, or whatever, people that did things through science. And they had written a rebuttal to the RAND study, saying it was not more than a smoke screen to try to confuse the public into what was being done.
Right.
And so
let's back up a little, Mike. Talk about the RAND study first, because that's what it was basically a commission by the city, right? A number cruncher.
Was Lindsay, I think, brought it in.
And they were just what?
The RAND Corporation, before this was the first civilian use of the RAND Corporation. Before that, they were a nuclear war think tank dedicated to killing people. So the RAND company kind of fit,
right?
Because they didn't measure how long it took to get to a location of a fire, go up a 10-story building or whatever size, and actually attack the fire and do anything. They just went to the doorstep of the building at street level to estimate response times.
Right.
And it was like one size fit all. They used units that didn't have any relation to the units that got eliminated. It was mostly it was during the war years, and they had put these second sections in
right
prior to this time. Okay, 26 truck had 2 sections, and they alternate on the calls because it was so busy there.
Right.
And I remember someone telling me, well, the reason they don't just make a new company and call it 26, they call it 26-2, so that when they eliminate it, people won't notice that much. And I didn't believe it. I said, man, we're so busy. How could they do that? But anyway, that's what happened. And
so they started closing down firehouses based on really bullshit numbers and bullshit response times, right? Basically trying to cut the budget, right? And really putting a lot of firemen's lives at risk.
Firemen
and the public, right? Yeah.
Well, let me read you a little something here. This is an article I wrote in the Village Voice about that. Since 1972, over 400 New York City citizens have died by fire in neighborhoods where firefighting units were eliminated. In their book, Study on the Collapse of the Fire Service in New York City, 1972 to 76, Doctors Rod and Deborah Wallace, who obtained their data from fire department files, detailed the deterioration of service and reveal that a RAND Corporation study was used to accelerate the planned shrinkage in the South Bronx, Bushwick, and other areas that have been extensively burned out. The closings occurred primarily in communities with fire death rates substantially above the city average, and there is evidence that fatality and other statistics have been manipulated to make the situation appear less serious. And in their study, they had a whole section which I was looking for. I don't have it available right now. Anybody remember Al Benway? He's a battalion chief in the Bronx during the war years. And they asked him, well, what actually happens when, you get an alarm, and then what happens? And then what happens after that? And just went through the whole thing, and it was just totally contradicted what they come out with in the RAND study. So, what happened was, I don't know, after that, after we found out about that, me and my wife started going out to, as they were announcing a new round of firehouse closing, and contacted the people in those neighborhoods and told them what we found out, and also told them that, you know, the only time the city backed off was if the people took over the firehouse and wouldn't leave until they reopened it. That was, I think, Engine 218 that worked real good with. And but nobody ever really picked up on it until we went to Northside, Brooklyn, Engine 212, and met a guy named Adam Vineski, who was like the grocer in the neighborhood. And
wow, that's an old term.
And
grocer.
and he was heading up the effort to keep the firehouse open. And so we told him that the same thing, you know, the only thing that works is if you take over the firehouse. And we kind of went home and we thought, they ain't gonna do nothing. Then the firehouse schedule, I think, was supposed to be closed on Thanksgiving. And on Thanksgiving Eve, I got a phone call and he says, "We did it." And I go, "What'd you do, Adam?" And he goes, "We took over the firehouse."
So what they do? They moved into the firehouse?
Hey, we have some pictures of that, right? Do we have any pictures of that?
Nope.
I think we do.
You might have something there.
Look up People's Firehouse. It'll come up.
Yeah, People's Firehouse, Pete, was in there.
Engine 212.
So basically, would you say, Mike, that the city was definitely complacent in all those, you know, basically all those civilian deaths and deaths of firefighters too? Really, you know, trying to shrink the fire department, right?
Well, I don't think anybody that was in the Bronx doing 10,000 runs during the war year lived a full life. You know, I don't.
Yeah,
there are plenty of guys.
Right. We've talked about this in the past, how, you know, the city was complicit in allowing the city basically to burn down because they wanted to re-gentrify the city and build it back up. And they give all sorts of incentives for people to burn themselves out or landlords to burn themselves out. Now closing of the firehouses and all of that is what
planned shrinkage, they call that.
Yeah, basically that's a good phrase, planned shrinkage.
I don't know if you can see this.
What is that one? There you go.
Yeah, you got some. Well, let me just.
Pete, I'll send it to you right now. I got it.
Okay. Well, this is what I have from our.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's some of the pictures there.
Yeah, you've got pictures there, and it's they on a fire truck. Somebody put a big sign on. That's the one.
There you go.
That. They put that sign. I don't know who did it. They put that sign.
Genocide. Wow. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a little over the top, but these were Polish people who had been through a lot during World War II and a lot with Russia and communism, and so, you know, in a way, I can understand why they would put something up that like that up there.
Right.
But these were people who were determined. And I advise everybody. I thought we'd be able to use the People's Firehouse film on the show, but apparently we can't. And
who's that right there?
That's me.
Oh! There's a 12 drink of water that guy out.
Early head, dude.
No, that was. I think this was before 212. We're trying to get things organized on Staten Island,
right?
And they were trying to put mini pumpers out at the end of the island instead of pumpers and full crews.
What the hell's a mini pumper?
What's a mini pumper?
Yeah, what's that?
250-gallon tank with a hose. It's
small fire truck.
It's a small fire truck. Okay, so they were called attack teams they were going to put there. And, you know, you see the sign attack teams plus closed firehouses, plus the rapid increase in fires and a 60% rise in fire deaths. don't add up. Help us balance the books, you know. And that other one, no way to save money. Stop O'Hagan, save lives. That my wife threw that. And that was out at the Staten Island Mall. And
Wow.
we were trying to get people.
All right, so all these people from the neighborhood move into 212 engine, right? So they close the firehouse, and then people just on the day they close, people move in there. Or how does that exactly happen, Mike?
Well, they refused to let the city take the engine, and they slept in shifts. And if the city came in the night and tried to take the engine, they set the siren off in the firehouse, and everybody would come.
No shit.
Wow, good for that, man.
I actually worked there. I covered there as a lieutenant a couple of times.
I worked there a couple of times too in 212 when I was in 210.
Unfortunately, Bloomberg closed it.
I was going to say he did get it eventually. He closed it, right?
They did stay open for 20 years, so you know they saved a few lives that way.
And that was an old firehouse. That was one of the older firehouses, right?
114 years by the time.
114 years. Huh. What's there now, Mike? Do you know what's there now? Is it abandoned or
it's a senior center or something like that? That's what I heard.
Center. Huh.
But I'll tell you what, there's a community organization called the People's Firehouse Incorporated, and they continue to advocate fire safety, safe housing, things like that. I went up on their site today and saw it, and they haven't dropped the ball at all. They're still doing it. Good.
All right. So after that, after you get involved in the People's Firehouse, we're going to move to about 77. And so let's talk about Paul Thayer a little bit. How did you know him? Because it says that you went to his funeral, and this is where you got involved with the photos and stuff like that. So how did you meet Paul Thayer?
I saw him a couple of times. Excuse me, I got to
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Don't shake your ice, though. He gets all upset.
In the last year that I was at 14 Truck, I'd seen him a couple of times and heard about him.
Taking pictures.
I knew, well, yeah, I kind of knew we took pictures. I never really saw any of them.
Right.
And I knew he wrote in the Civil Service Leader, wrote a column in the Leader. And when I got involved with the People's Firehouse, I would make sure I got his column every week because he didn't pull any punches about what was going on. He just said it, told it like it was, that, you know, these cuts are killing firemen and killing civilians, and you really got to, you know, and O'Hagan, I know, and it didn't just start with at that point in time, because I think back in the past when he had a dark room in the basement of the fire factory, 26 Truck, and I think 91 Engine, he had one at another time, and I think he got on Kavanaugh's nerves, who had previously made him an honorary deputy chief. and I think Kavanaugh barred him from fire department property, and he had to dismantle his darkroom.
So what year are we talking about, Mike, that he's taking these photos? 60s, 60s and 70s, or 50s? Or
50s and 60s.
50s and 60s. He's out there buffing with fire, taking fire photos and writing columns, basically.
He'd ride the sidestep of a 26 Truck.
Really?
With a 35 millimeter camera. And when you start looking at those pictures,
those pictures are as crisp as if somebody took it with a $5,000 digital camera. I'm telling you,
that's true. And you don't just press a button and the camera sets itself up. He had to get his f-stops. You had to get all of that right. And his pictures are impeccable. And
right.
As far as I'm concerned, everybody's got a go to greatest of all time or whatever. That's my candidate right there. I mean,
yeah, man.
How do you beat Paul Thayer?
His photos are unbelievable.
Oh,
they really are.
When we first redid the website, I got in touch with Mike and asked him if we could use a couple of those pictures for the for the website, just because they're that crisp, like you say, for something that for something that was happening in the 50s and 60s. I mean, he's got pictures of guys walking across windows.
Yeah.
He's got guys like right next, the aerial,
Yep.
taking people out of the window. Legit pics.
Yeah, he got him. Yeah. Did you call Mike Hagum or did you call Mike Hyam?
Oh, Hyam. Sorry, Mike.
No, I mean, who did you call on the phone? Did you call Mike Hagum or did you call Mike Hyam?
I was calling Mike Hagum, but I didn't
you were
realize.
Calling Mike Hagum. You should ask Mike Hyam.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
I got that a lot.
Mike's
like, yeah, real original guys.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I was in the firehouse in the 60s, you jackasses.
Mike's heard it all. I don't want to keep calling Paul because it's Paul Thayer. All right, so Paul Thayer passes away in 1977. And tell us a story how you go up and you visited his widow, Dorothy, to pay your respects. And take it from there, fella.
Okay, after he passed, I had been in the years in between. I had been on the phone with Paul, and I was during the People's Firehouse thing on a Paul, getting all kinds of information. Herbie Iser was really good. I mean, he just compiled the statistics and showed what was going on, and we were using Paul's columns and what Herbie Iser was putting out to support the argument that the firehouse ought to get reopened. And after Paul passed, my wife and I went to visit his widow. And as we're leaving, we paid our respects and sat there for a few hours. And as we're leaving, she goes into the closet and she pulls out this box. And in the box are about 40 11 by 14 prints of those pictures we're going to be showing.
Yeah.
And she goes, I think Paul would have liked you to have these. And I said, no, I think they're yours, really yours. But she kept insisting. And I looked at him and I said, man, these are an important part of fire department history. They ought to get preserved. So I took them. She also gave me, in the box were things like,
oh my God,
a bunch of front pieces like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That one's falling apart. Can you see it?
Yeah. Wow.
Holy shit. How old was he when he passed, Mike? Was he older by then? Was he
76, I think.
Well,
maybe no, I think he was younger than that. I got his obituary here. He was maybe in his 60s.
Petey, we have some of his pictures we can throw up there.
Yeah, we're gonna go through them all, man. We're gonna.
All right. You know what? We just for everyone's edification, Lou, you too, because you weren't here for that one. We are gonna. There's no names on these photos. We're just gonna go through them one by one. We're gonna talk about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mike's gonna comment them on if he has any info on them more. Right, Mike? You good? You good to go?
Well, what I've been doing, I received no information at all with the photos, and whenever I posted them on Facebook, I'd put a caption and just kind of
right. I mean, look at how crisp those guys are on that ladder.
This is, remember that guy Bob O'Brien?
Yeah.
First lieutenant. That's him there before he came to 14 Truck.
No shit.
And I mean, this guy had bulging biceps. He used to wear a shirt, and I thought the seams were coming out on his bicep. And he just had a square jaw, you could see, and his firm hair shape. And it was like you were meeting John Wayne or somebody.
I love it, man.
But,
that's awesome.
He was my first mentor. And I just loved the man. He went to 40 Truck, and he was given the carte blanche on how he wanted to run that truck company, and it's really turned out to be a really good truck company. And he after he retired, he got a heart attack, and after he retired, he went to become like a male nurse. They were kind of promoting firefighters to be male nurses. And so he went to do that, and he did that for a while, I believe. and then he went out jogging. So they thought jogging was good for your heart. And he died with a massive heart attack on the track.
Sucks.
But, he's just a guy you can never forget.
All right, Pete, go to
those guys up there, no mask too. Look at these guys.
Look at these savages.
I mean, look at that picture, though, man. I mean,
It's a charge line.
Incredible pictures, man.
Cloud is powering tomorrow's transformative missions. Federal agencies are partnering with SAIC to help them meet these critical moments, where bold moves require confident blueprints, where you can accelerate transformation through consistency, where you can innovate forward and never look back. SAIC quickly and securely migrates large-scale workloads to the cloud with the confidence you need to assure your mission. Learn more at SAIC.com/cloud.
Socks are the #1 most requested item in homeless shelters. Underwear is the second, shirts are third. At Bombas, socks were first. Made with comfortable details for everyday wearing. Then underwear and shirts too, all designed to perfectly fit. At Bombas, every item you purchase means you're donating an essential clothing item to someone in need. One comfortable clothing item for you, one donated to someone in need. Bombas, comfort for all. Get 20% off your purchase at bombas.com/comfy.
Wow.
That's a charge line up an aerial ladder.
Jeez.
Look at the guy.
Charge line. What is it? 2.5? What size line is that?
2.5.
Yeah, it's 2.5 up there.
Yeah,
But
I gotta ask, what do you think? Like, how many gallons of water is in that?
Dude, that's
line?
That's heavy, man.
Yeah.
Once that nozzle opens up, man,
Oh,
it just
man,
puts
you
it
better
back.
ladder lock that bad boy.
Yeah,
You better put your lights
see
through
that
there,
guy in the
man.
bottom there. He's holding it.
Yeah.
That weight wants to go down. No doubt about that.
I don't know if the line's open. Maybe I think.
No, yeah, probably not. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and for all of our audio listeners, they're gonna really want to go to our YouTube page to see these photos because you're really
amazing.
missing out.
Yeah.
Here's another one here. What's going on in this one?
Sunday morning in Harlem.
Sunday, your typical Sunday morning in Harlem.
So, what's happening? It's a post church,
like a parade or something.
It's probably Sunday morning. They're doing some kind of procession.
Procession. That's what I meant.
And there's a J.O. Bizzle right down the job. Right down the block.
Look at the chauffeur.
Look up. He knows how to capture the moment.
Dude, that's what it is, Mike.
Raise it up. You got people. Raise it up. You got people hanging out the window.
Oh yeah, look at the window there. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Let me zoom into that.
But look at everybody on the sidewalk. Everybody has a suit on. They're all dressed nice, right?
Yeah.
Sunday morning. Yeah. And there's the show for chilling.
Nice cars. Look at those cars. My goodness.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Moving on. This is a good one. Look at this grab.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
There's a few ones in here
that guy's got his hat on still.
Oh, the guy below him.
He's got the fedora on.
Yeah. You don't want to forget it on his way out, bro.
He's looking like a gentleman.
Yeah.
You didn't wear ball caps in those days.
No.
Look at fire escape too. It's like
I'll go back to fedora.
It's like a nice fire escape.
We should come out with a salty fedora. Bring him back, Ruffy.
Yeah. Look at the wrought iron on that. On the fire
decorative,
escape,
right? Yeah,
it's really nice, man. That's not cheap. That's good stuff. Here, oh my God! Look at this fire photo right here. Good God!
I gotta get closer in my eyes.
Yeah, I'll zoom in.
Furnace is falling.
The whole furnace is collapsed.
Okay. This photo, and there's another photo where a fireman is knocked on his butt and his helmet came off, and there's another fireman handing him the helmet. Both those photos was used in a Carnes ad. The helmet.
Wow.
And the thing was, this chunk from where up here fell down and hit the guy, hit him in the head. It knocked his helmet off, and it may have knocked him unconscious, but it probably saved his life.
He survived, right? Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
Flip it. Yeah, flip it.
You have this on the homepage. This was on the. We put this on the website homepage. Look at that guy.
Just
he's got his suit jacket on. That coat he's got on there. Holy mackerel! I mean, what is he going with that jacket? Holy, and he's got a hook.
What's that? A smoking jacket? It's probably the chauffeur.
I don't know. There's like 16 windows of fire. I mean, holy crap!
Looks like he's got a scarf on. Like,
holy crap! You know, it's funny. So Captain Tom in the chat is saying something that I just noticed, and I was going to mention. Notice the lack of heavy volumes of smoke in the photos. Different fuels than today, and more effective ventilation back then. And yeah, I was going to say
ventilation is the windows weren't thermopane, so they would vent by themselves, and most of the shit was wood. You didn't have no shitty plastic or rubber or all this other chemical bullshit. So it was a cleaner burning smoke.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and
kudos for the captain for picking that out. Look at that guy.
Yeah, totally. I was just gonna say, it's like if it was chugging now, you wouldn't even be able to see from that second fire escape down.
Coming out velvet.
One floor down. It's unbelievable. Here's another one.
Oh, look at that rig.
Whoa.
Okay.
What was that? 58? Yeah.
Engine? Wow.
All right. This photo has appeared. It was appeared in the one Paul Hashigan did, the 100 and something anniversary.
Yeah, that red book. Yeah, I know.
That's in that. There's other pictures of Paul's in there. This, I've got messages. I was told when the picture was handed to me, she told me that Eastman Kodak had no explanation for how that image appeared. It's kind of like a negative image on a positive picture, and I don't know that much about photography. But and then I've had other guys message me and tell me the same thing, that they sent it out to 2 labs and they could never figure out how that got into the picture.
Really?
It could have been. It could have just been the smoke condition was causing some of those shadows. Because see this right here, these shadows on the back of the guy on the hose there.
Yeah, go up on it, Pete.
Yeah, let me zoom in. That's what might be tripping everybody, because you see, it looks like they're in shadow, like a negative.
That is cool, though, bro.
Very, very cool.
Hey, pull it back too. Look at it. Look at the bell. That's the bell I have in here that came off a 17 engine when I got this.
You don't see lighting like this, like unless this is like it's almost like the image has been burned and dodged, which is an old trick that you would do with film in the lab. To darken areas. It's very, very cool.
This guy's pictures are, I mean, I've seen them before, but every time you see him, you're like, God damn, man, these pictures are unbelievable.
Yeah, man. That's a really great photo. It almost feels like the truck is black. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's so cool.
So plain.
Here's another one. Look at this. There's chaos, and then photographers just capturing the chaos.
I called that one group photo.
Group shot.
Yeah, I'm surprised the photographers aren't beating each other up to get the shot. It's crazy.
Notice the cobblestone street too, man.
Nuts, dude. Cobblestone street. What else can we pick up? Look what these guys are doing here. Look at great detail.
That looks like one of those tin the outsides of a shack or something. What is that, man? That's it. They're pulling it off.
Man, these photos are awesome. Freaking awesome. All right, here's a guy taking a blow, or what's going on?
Yep. Boots rolled up, taking a blow, man.
Yeah, man. Look at that. Look at those coats, dude. Look at it.
Mike, is that 91 engine, you think?
No, it's 91.
91, right?
Yeah, man. Badass. He captures a lot. All right, cool. And
it's the same guy, 91 engine, man.
Yeah, cleaning up, getting smuts off his face at the hydrant. Man, those old school New York City hydrants.
Look at that cap. He's got, I guess there's no cap there. He put the cap on there.
I put a caption on this one. White Claw never tasted as good.
That's for Louis.
Oh,
that might make the Instagram tomorrow, my brother.
That's amazing. Oh, that's hilarious.
That might make it tomorrow.
101. Okay, good. I'm gonna write that down right now. Actually, I gotta start marking times. 101:43. Excellent. Hold Hold on here. Oh man,
this kid's burned up, man. That's got to be the Bronx. Look at that Bronx Bend. Whoop.
Oh yeah,
Squad 1.
Squad 1.
Holy shit!
Man, oh man.
The Bronx Bend. The kids all barely made it, man. Look at that. Holy shit! All right. The boots always get me, dude.
I have my father's boots in my garage.
So just like these?
Coat on, for God's sake.
Yeah, the roll-up ones.
Don't even have a coat on.
Good God.
Yeah, maybe it's the winter. The other guys was the summer.
Good God, man. What a cool shot. All right, here's another good one. So what's happening here?
I don't know what the hell is going on with that one. It's like a Halligan. That's not even a Halligan. That's a pry bar. It's a...
And then what's this flashlight?
That's what they carry.
Good
Old
God.
school.
Look at his tattered coat.
Yeah, it's all torn up at the bottom.
The guy took a beating.
I'm
Took
sure.
a little too much. Yeah, he's got some black snot on him, bro. He took a beating.
Whoa. Jeez, man. Well, here's what's this one now?
Okay.
This newspaper clipping here.
That's a story that appeared in a Long Island Today paper or something like that. Paul Thayer had a daughter that was born after his parents had separated, and independent of knowing anything about her father, he became a fire buff.
Yeah.
Name is Maggie Thayer Fitzgerald, I think.
Wow.
And that's a picture of Paul Thayer there, and that's another picture of that Paul Thayer that I don't have, and I would like to have if anybody's got it out there.
So his daughter became a fire buff without knowing her father was a fire buff photographer?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Actually, this is a good question in the chat. Do you know by any chance what kind of a camera was being used? Was it just a 35 mil?
It was a 35 millimeter. I don't know
the brand or anything like that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, because, back in those days, they had some really nice 35 mil cameras, like the Leica cameras that were used they was this big, real small lens, but made beautiful photojournalistic shots. Super crisp, man. Super crisp. So that could have been it, perhaps.
Oh, shit. There's another guy, another brother.
God, dude. Look at this.
I mean, that was a common thing, man. I mean, even when we got on Coob, you would see guys, I'm sure Mike would see that all the time, is guys were always taking oxygen after the job, right? They were always had smoke inhalation after every fire. Because
I don't know about the deputy. I don't know about the deputy coming over to see how I am over there.
All right, kid. Get up, kid.
Took oxygen at one time, and it was a real snotty job and everything. And I took oxygen, and they gave me the oxygen, and I said, "Okay, thanks a lot." And I start heading back to the fire, and I go, "Oh no, sit down. You ain't going nowhere." I said, "But I got to go back in there. The guys are getting their jocks knocked off." That didn't work either.
Here's another one. The boys forcing the door.
44 truck.
That's a good pick.
Oh, that's a great shot, dude.
Yeah, man.
Now, I've never been able to track this down as definitely being Paul Thayer's photos, but it was in the Daily News, and Paul used to post a lot of pictures in the Daily News under other names. And it's a Bronx company. The only two pictures I know of that were in Harlem was this one, and there's another one that will be coming up, be a Brooklyn company, where the firemen's being given oxygen.
Petey, Keith Playhouse is talking about the camera that they used back then.
Oh, let's see where originally SPD. Oh, the Yashica Matte WRR. Yep, that's another one. That was the firefighter photographer's choice way back. The SPD graphic, then the Yashica Matte. Wow. That's bringing back some Yashika, man. My God, that's bringing back some memories. All right, I guess
that's what I couldn't think of. Fat Daddy. We saw that the positive pressure. Remember that one, Roshi? The positive pressure resuscitator.
QC is asking if that was Chief Steve in the last picture with the as the deputy chief giving aiding the guy. This one right here.
No,
no, obviously not.
Who is that? What was this funeral? Mike, do you know who that is?
I know it was just one of the pictures, and the guy is just so good at capturing images, and it pretty much says it. These pictures speak for themselves.
They really do. They tell their own story, Mike. They all do.
Yeah, man. This is a cute one right here. A little Dalmatian pup. 40s helmet there. Absolutely amazing. They're crazy ass dogs, but that's
I had one.
They're from my people, so it makes a lot of sense. Dalmatian Coast, baby. This is a good one right here. Look at this. Is that a cop helping the guy out on the rig?
No, that's a chauffeur.
Okay, I was
no.
Jesus, that's awesome.
And you got the chief's aide shuffling right along there.
Huh.
You got people hanging out the window.
Oh yeah, the guy on the top floor there.
Got the officers telling them where to go.
Oh, here we go. Someone, Captain Tom again, saying that someone told me Paul Thayer used to use 2.25 by 2.25 format, or like a larger format camera. So that's possibly true because of the clarity of these images right here.
This is the best picture. This next picture.
The next one?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I see guys going across the window.
I mean, that picture's been talked about online for
look at these dudes.
Millenniums, man.
Give me a break.
That's just an incredible.
The guy's holding a hook.
It just shows you what guys do.
Balls. Yeah.
Holy sheetrock, dude.
I'll tell you something else about that picture. Vinny Dunn went and messaged me that after this picture appeared, I don't know where it appeared in the paper, but the directive came down from chief of department. I don't know who it was at the time. That I believe it was the captain of 26 truck formulate ladders 3, I think it was, but the procedure where who carried what tool and where they were going in a truck company, which is the one they're using today, and they used back then. And it's just such a great plan, man. It was just, it just works.
No, it does work.
And there was also no more playing Spider-Man on the side of the building.
Everything is covered for every type of building. There's nothing left to chance. You just go to your position every time.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's
wow.
That's the picture that where the piece fell on the guy's head used in that ad.
Look at a barber.
Crazy. Yeah, nuts. Yeah, Barbara's like, what the hell's going on over here?
What? I just gave that guy a haircut.
This one going this way, that one going that way. This guy's going, what the hell?
Going this way. This guy's got something falling on his head.
59. No shit. Badass. Oh man, these kids. Now this one, always sad to see the kids. I guess there was some inhalation there. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Now what's this one?
What is that? Is that a baby or what is that?
Yeah, he's doing CPR. He's giving
Rescue 3.
Oh wow. No shit.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Oh my God. In the middle of that's a great action shot, right? You can catch
blue,
like that.
getting it done, man. Big blue.
Oh my God. Everyone's on oxygen.
That's the only.
That's the Brooklyn one.
Yeah.
You had to throw a Brooklyn one in there for Ruffy.
I called that early rehab.
Early rehab.
216. Oh shit. Crazy.
216. Where's Ray? Fat Daddy Ray.
Oh, look at this
we
one.
We have that one on the website too.
Now, what is this? What's this rig, guys? The ladder. What is this?
I'll tell you.
All right.
One time when our tower ladder had to go to the shops, The only spare they had was one of those, and it's spring-loaded wooden ladder.
I was gonna say it looks like wood, man.
Jeez.
With a hand crank to extend it.
Wow.
And these guys are going to the roof.
6 stories.
Wow.
With a T-shirt on.
Yeah. After he just put it up, cranked it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit. No joke.
Yeah, this is real. I mean, again, this is
Let's
as
zoom in
real
on
as it
that.
gets right there, man.
Oh my God.
That's
Brothers.
okay. Look real close. There's a kid between the 2 firefighters.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't see it. Wow.
She
Yeah,
must
oh
have
yeah,
handed-
man.
He's handing the kid off to the.
Yep.
Oh wow.
The kid
You
got
know what? I
handed
didn't
off.
pick that up actually.
Wow. Let me zoom in. See if I can zoom in without. Yeah, look at the kid's face. There you go. Great. That is great. And the mom is
Hanging
out.
on a ledge.
Yep. Holy smokes, dude. What a
That's a
shot.
26 truck.
Wow, dude. What a shot.
You know, it's funny. People be walking past that building. They wouldn't realize that somebody was hanging out that window, right?
Yeah.
How many years ago?
50 years ago, 60 years ago.
Jeez. Oh.
Was he opening up the roof?
there?
His wool coat on. What has he got? A wool pea coat on? What is he wearing there? Holy.
Coat.
Got his collar up. Going to the club.
Yeah, just it's a nice little afternoon, you know.
Something you don't see anymore, though, right? TV antennas. You don't see them up there anymore.
Wow, man.
I've got a picture of of guys on the roof with Rescue 3, with everybody's wearing the turnout coats with the stripes on it, and Tommy McTeague is wearing one of those.
Pea coat.
Holy shit. Oh, wow. Look at this fire, dude. What
Can you read the wall?
Read
Yeah. Pick it up, pull it up, Petey. What does that say?
No renting. Building
no.
condemned. No renting.
Building condemned, no renting. Got it.
Wow.
Nice.
I don't think anybody's moving in there now.
No. That thing's millions of dollars. Can't even go near it. Oh, what's happening here?
Yeah.
What a grab.
Another shot. Another grab. Is
I got
there's a
close.
kid.
2. Has he got 2 there?
No, there's one in his arm and there's one in the window.
Yeah, you see
Oh,
the
I
kid
see
in
the one in the window. Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
and then you see the parent too, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the left.
So it's 3 people, 2 kids and a parent. Holy mackerel coming out the
I
window.
call that one Faces in the Window.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you now look, if you were grabbing this kid, Lou, or anybody, could you possibly grab both the kids at once, or would you come back?
No, you would either hand it off to somebody who's behind you, or
Right.
you'd have to come.
What you could do is you could put them between you, put them in the rungs
I mean,
below
if you had
you a
no
little bit.
choice, if there was
Yeah.
fire coming out the window,
Okay.
then
Then
yeah,
you can
but,
grab 'em.
you know,
Yeah.
the last thing you want to do is drop somebody from the 3rd floor window.
No, of
you
course,
know?
because I'm sure that lady's trying to get that kid out of there as fast as
Right.
possible, so there's a lot of pressure.
Most
And I
of the
didn't
time,
see
somebody
any-
will come up behind you.
That's great. Oh, well, that's freaking awesome. Oh, holy
He's getting the hell out of there.
crap.
With his pea coat on
With
again.
his evening gown on there.
Holy,
Wow.
Just grabbing the
Good
ladder.
Lord.
The ladder's got to be cooked.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of fire, actual fire, not
He's just
smoke.
getting out of there in time, it looks like.
See the boot up at the top of the ladder?
Oh shit! There's another one up there.
Holy
See, you really have to
shit.
look at every part of the picture because that guy's got to get the hell out of there.
Look
too.
at that boot. And they are roasting.
Yeah,
Damn,
that guy's going to be getting, he's feeling the heat for sure.
dude.
It's a smoking jacket. Robert.
Is it just, I mean,
In more ways than one.
to Captain Tom's point there earlier, we're really seeing a lot more fire in these fire photos than smoke.
Yeah.
It really is the case. Oh my God. All right. Your neighborhood firehouse savior is gone. Newspaper clipping. Who is this?
This is Adam Vineski. He's the grocer that headed
Oh, shit.
things
Yeah,
up. And when he was, I think it was in 04, he was coming up out of the subway and he got a massive heart attack.
Oh, shit.
And the firemen that responded were from 212. And for his funeral, the firemen from 212, their family asked the firemen from 212 to be pallbearers.
No,
really?
So they gave Adam a good send off. This guy was just
stories that'll get lost, man.
That's why we have this podcast, buddy.
Yeah, man, this is amazing.
So
we saw our people's firehouse photos, and here's the last. This is a great shot.
26 are coming off the fire escape.
Another grab, just lots of grabs.
That's what I was trying to explain to you, Pete. You put the person in between the ladder and yourself.
Yeah. I gotcha. And then you hold on for dear life with those, with anything you got. My God. Really awesome, dude. Yeah, these are all of our black and whites, and then we can get into the other photos of Virginia soon. But I think we maybe want to talk about that move next, Kev.
I do. I thought I plugged my computer back in. Sorry about that.
Shalom.
I kicked it out.
Shalom.
Mike, those were amazing. Really.
I'm glad I could share them this way.
Those
man.
are some
I've
of the
been
best
trying to get them
pictures.
out for 40 years.
Yeah.
Those are some of the best pictures ever taken, really. I mean, every time you see him, you know it's his picture.
Right.
You know?
Yep. So this guy, you said you were in the fire service for over 60 years. You're still doing it, right? Even you found a way to do it even after you got out of the FDNY. So you moved to West Virginia, not Virginia. You moved to West Virginia, and you become a member of the Elmore Volunteer Fire Company back in 1980, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened there was I moved, almost didn't find a place to live. We had a thing set up. We came into West Virginia like the Beverly Hillbillies with my mother-in-law in the back of the car, the truck, and
your furniture, your dining room
all
table
our
on the back
furniture
of
and
the car.
everything.
You didn't have your mother-in-law on the roof, did you? She was in the car.
And we had a place set. Thought we had a place set up in Elkins. That fell through, and then we stayed at a friend's house and started advertising for a place to live. And about the last day before we were going to turn around and go back to New York, found a place in Elmore, West Virginia. And a couple of days later, I pull into this gas station grocery place out in the country there. And this kid comes out and he's looking at me, and he's looking at the vehicle, and he sees the international sticker on the back of the car, and he goes, "Are you a fireman?" I said, "Yeah, I was back in New York." He says, "We got a fire department," and I said, "Oh yeah." I says, He said, "We'd like to come back down and see it." And yeah, maybe later on. What time should I be there? So I go down there, and the fire department had been formed 3 years earlier.
Holy shit!
And they had found this. The first firehouse was an old school bus shed.
Now extended through January 14th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness for zero enrollment and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, mister. I'm so stressed I grind my teeth more than most people grind coffee.
Especially you. Give your anxiety-clenched jaw a rest.
My molars will be so happy.
Start feeling fit-tacular today. Join in club or at planetfitness.com. Zero enrollment, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 14th. See club for details.
You wouldn't give the special people in your life a generic brown box of things for their birthday. You give gifts so perfectly personal that even if you forgot to sign the card, they still know it's from you. 1-800-Flowers.com is here to help you do more of that. Make every birthday brighter with exclusive offers and great values on gorgeous bouquets and arrangements. To order today, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
Abandoned school bus shed where they had a FWD, maybe 53 model pumper in it. And they moved out of there, and they found an abandoned garage at the side of an old sawmill, which was on the other side of the river. And it had just about enough room to fit the truck. And it wasn't really a very good place to be. But what happened was they got the location for the firehouse, and it was in Randolph County. The community is divided between Randolph County and Upshur County, and they tried to get a charter from Randolph County, and the fire chief over there said, "No, you already got a fire department. It's us." They were 10 miles away, and the reason the people wanted a fire department is because it was taking.
They were 10 miles away.
had a couple of fires. People lost their homes, and a fire death.
Saved the foundation.
Like that. Right. So they kind of like all pitched in, and they got a hold of some old Navy surplus fire coats and boots and helmets and anything they could get, and but they couldn't get a charter, so they went to Upshur County, and Upshur County gave them a charter, and that's how they got started. And it was like for me it was about as far from fighting fires in Harlem as you could get. I think the population of Elmore is maybe about 300 or so.
Oh my goodness gracious!
The fire department does mutual aid to the other adjoining fire districts, and over the years they built up. Well, I got a picture of the. I got pictures there of the old fire station.
I got you.
It's got a river behind it.
Well, first of all, hold on.
How many people are in there now, Mike?
Look at this.
Okay.
Who the hell is that guy?
That's me. That's the former fire chief Goin Tenney. I took over from him, and behind it, they kind of raised funds by doing penny ante bingo games, and that was like every weekly affair, and made a little money there, got a little money from the county. Wow. Then another thing we did was doing road tolls. I think I've got some meaty.
Hold on, here's the firehouse, right?
That's the old firehouse. That's the original firehouse.
That's the one that was the bus you were saying the bus garage?
No, the bus garage was even
the new
smaller
one
than that.
Oh, all right. Really?
That's the new one, right?
That's the new fire station.
Wow, you came a long way, brother.
And then you said road tows.
Oh, look at that thing.
This is what happens when the fire chief is a NASCAR fan.
Look at that.
No shit.
You got the hood? There's a picture of the hood.
I think so, right here.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Wow, man.
Nice.
That's cool, bro. So how many members of the fire department now do you have?
Probably about 16. They've got a lot of ladies involved, a lot of female firefighters.
Really?
And
the guys in the chat are saying that the toothbrush was invented in West Virginia. Otherwise, it would have been called a teeth brush.
You're right.
I've been through West Virginia, man.
Oh, stick it in your grandma.
I've seen it.
I speak the language. I speak the language. A creek is a crick. A kettle is a kittle.
So you picked up on the lingo.
Did you
know what the tones sound like when they get a run? The tones? Did
you get it to
almost heaven, West Virginia?
That's the tones, right?
Yeah. Did you ever get into any of that beef with the Hatfields and the McCoys down there? You know,
not yet.
That's what goes on, man.
Hey, Mike, there's a question for you in the chat. They want to know what actually made you go to West Virginia in the first place.
Cost of living in New York was one of them.
Makes sense.
I found it was a lot better place to raise our kids.
What made you pick West Virginia, though? Just
we had a friend name was Cherie Chenoweth, and she was sharing an apartment with us. And I don't know, she went out one weekend and come back and said, I met this guy from West Virginia. It sounded like a real cool place. I think I'll go down there and check it out.
There you go.
So a couple of weeks later, she goes down there, and then she comes back and she says, yeah, I'm definitely moving. And she moved down, and then we started going down to visit. And it was one time a year, 2 times a year, 3 times. And he said, you know what? We're never going to get rich here in New York. And it's real pretty down there. So let's do it.
No, it is pretty.
All right. Beautiful. Beautiful.
How old are you now, Mike? How long you been down there? How old are you now?
Since 1980.
And how old are you?
I'm 75. Just turned 75.
Nice. 3/4 century. Beautiful. So you got actually you worked your way up to captain. You got promoted to captain in 82. Well, you moved up pretty fast, bro, from 80 to 82.
Well, they didn't have much to pick from.
He just stole my joke right there, bro. I had it all teed up, Mike. You took it away from me.
It's just a whole different environment down there, and I give those people a lot of credit for just forming the fire department and bringing it to where it is today. They don't have a whole lot of fires, and one thing idea I've been floating around is trying to get a group together that watches this show and pays attention for the tips of the day. Because, I went to instructing school and I never really did any textbook teaching because I'm a Facebook table guy. And that's where I learned what I know. And they don't really know what a Facebook kitchen table is there because they don't have that in the department, And I want to try to introduce them to that because you learn a lot. You learn a lot that'll save your ass in a fire. And
sit him down, Mike. Turn on the computer and spin up the old Getting Salty podcast, bro. We'll bring it right to the kitchen table.
The thing about the podcast and YouTube is I can skip by the stuff that don't apply and just zero in on that.
Right.
And we can have discussions about that, just like you do with the kitchen table. And that's what I'm aiming for at this point. And
75 years old, and you're still involved heavily in the fire service. That's what I'm talking about. Lifetime.
I don't go to fire. I had a triple bypass a few years ago.
But you're still involved, right?
Yes, I
there you go.
I don't go run into fires. I thought about going to try to take pictures, but I know myself, and if I do that and I see something, I'm
you're going to be in the building pulling seal.
Somebody get Mike out of there already. Grab him, get him out.
Well, several years ago, I was pulling a ceiling, and a big chunk of it come down, knocked me on my butt. And that turned out to be a herniated disc.
Oh, I got one of those. Nice.
Not good.
Yeah, I got that. That sucks.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So Pete, I think now that we're talking about the tips and old school tips, it might be that time.
Well, that's correct, sir. It is time for the old school tip of the day. Take it away,
get
sir.
it, Mike.
Oh, okay. When we used to cut a roof with the saw, and I guess we were one of the first companies to get a saw. Whenever you're cutting a roof probably got about an inch or two of tar on top of the wood, and we used to take an axe and do your cut lines with the axe and get the tar out of the way, and then cut it with the saw. So I'd say that'd be a good one. And another one is if you're trying to recruit somebody into a fire department, look at your veterans. Look at your veterans and really talk to them about it, because those guys, you don't have to do a whole lot of training for them to understand how to follow orders or why you follow orders. And I really think that's the way to go. And I observed the difference between people that aren't veterans and the ones that are. What else can I tell you? There was other pictures I wanted to go to, but I don't know if we don't have the time, that's fine.
What do you got there? We can throw another one up there. What do you want?
Well, we get to the Elmore Fire Department, West Virginia.
Good, Petey.
Just generally speaking, any photo or?
Just put them up.
By the way, that was a very great tip, man, about the we haven't heard anything even close to that. That's a great tip, Mike, about the military guys, the veterans, really. So, Pete, throw them up there, man. What do you got?
Okay, they do. This fire department does a lot of good things, good deeds for the public, and the community is really loves them, gives them a lot of support. About the last 3 years, they've been doing a shop with a firefighter at Walmart, and the one they just did, they told the kid, go pick out a good winter coat, pick out a good pair of boots, and you got $100 to spend on whatever you want after that. And I think they had 114 kids this year.
That's great.
Wow. Good for you, man. Good job.
Nice. We have some. Is this the same thing? Yeah, definitely.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I want to see that picture a little bit further down, Petey.
Which one, man?
From that good-looking fella, good-looking woman there. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, who's that guy?
I don't know who that is. That's me and my wife Jennifer, who was she when she gets involved in something, she goes 200%, and she definitely did it with the People's Firehouse and any other thing I got involved in. And you know that song, "There's a Rose in Spanish Harlem"?
Yep.
Okay. About sometime after I left the job, and my first marriage ended, I went to a Christmas party, and this woman is looking at me, and she's going, I think I know you. And I said, I don't know. How did you know me? I said, where are you from? Her family came down poor, very poor. They lived in a rent-controlled apartment up on the Upper West Side, and the landlord got a lawyer and got them out of there. And the only place they could move to was 123rd between second and third.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner. So we kind of figured maybe that's how she knew me, and it was kind of love at first sight, and we've been together for I don't know, 50 years or so.
Wow, good for you, man.
But she picked you up.
Basically, she's only human, right? I mean, she saw you. That's it, done. Right?
My wife picked me up, so that was a good move.
Good looking pictures, man. Good
nice. Give me another one, Pete. What else you got?
You did
there?
all right, Mike. I think you married up there, kid.
Oh, I did, definitely.
Join the club.
This is how you make money when you're a volunteer fire department and you're not getting much funding from the government. They had Route 33 ran through Elmore, so all the interstate at the time, all the interstate traffic went right through our little town, and we set up a road toll. And you got another picture of guys with a boot.
Oh, this is when they do the boot.
Fill the boot.
Hey, I fill the boot in Long Beach all the time.
Oh, that's an 80s photo right there, man. It's an 80 Oldsmobile. Nice.
A lot of olds. Yeah, and then we'd go out there and, we put plenty of traffic cones just to get them slowing down, coming to where we were standing. We used to make pretty good change and make $1,000 or more in a couple of hours. And we did it every year, and then they built the interstate where you didn't get that much traffic, so that wasn't a good deal. And
You had to move around then, get them somewhere else. Fill the boot. What else you got, Petey?
Take a shot of this rig here.
Okay, you recognize that truck?
Let's see.
Nope. It's got the pike axe on the side.
No. That's an old Bronx rear mount.
Is that right?
I don't know what company it was in, but it came from New York City.
Is that the phone booth?
That's the phone booth, I think. Yeah.
Nice. So you guys got a hold of that bad boy?
Yeah, it's the Buchanan Fire Department. It's the fire department in town. And the siren needed repairs, so they come out there with their truck and provide a little mutual aid. And
cool.
You know,
nice, Petey. What else you got?
I got one more here.
Sucking sap.
What's going on there? Yeah.
Okay. When I first came down there weren't hydrants at all out in the country. And the way you moved water was you have a tanker and you dump the water in the tank, and then you'd suck the water out with the pumper to fight the fire, and it'd have like tanker relays to keep the water moving. And so that's how to do. They're probably doing a hose test there, but that's what that's about.
You ain't kidding. Right. Different way of firefighting down there, huh, fella? You ain't kidding.
No, they have a lot. They've put in a lot of hydrants since then, so
have they? All right.
Makes it a lot better. It helps people with the ISO rating.
Nice.
Saves them a lot of money on ISO rating.
Huh.
Yeah, one more here. Look at that. What do we got there?
Okay, what we do is a lot of medevac. There's an outfit called HealthNet that's run by the WVU health system, and whenever a helicopter has to land and pick somebody up, set up a landing zone for them and mark out where the landing zone is, and talk to the helicopter on the radio and get them in and out. And we're very fortunate in Upshur County. There's an airport in Upshur County in Buchanan where one of these helicopters is stationed. So if you get into a wreck around our town, you get help pretty quick if you need it.
Nice,
man. There you go. Beautiful.
Excellent. Then you got something?
Something. I'd like to give a shout out to the.
Shout out time, fella. Go ahead.
I had some fire pictures there from. Can we go back to pictures?
Yeah. From which photo do you need?
There should be fires. A big fire in town in Buchanan.
Let's see.
3 tower ladders.
3 tower ladders. Let me find it before I post it up, so I'm not boring everyone with the.
Maybe you didn't get them all. I don't know.
No, I mean, I don't have the 3. I have this, but this is not what you're talking about. What's that?
Okay, well, that's
a medevac.
LZ. That's at an intersection where, after all these years and about 20 people getting killed trying to cross the intersection, there's no light, there's no nothing. On going east of it is a big turn, and west coming into it is it's a hill. This is like at the top of a hill. So the visibility is really bad for people crossing the road. And it had been, I would say, there'd been about 20 people killed over the years. They finally are going to install lights.
Traffic lights. Yeah.
And it's been a long time coming, but hopefully that will help.
Yeah, man. All right. That's everything, though. I don't have the big fire photo because I looked through everything just now.
Give the shout out anyway, Mike.
I want to give a shout out to J.B. Campbell, Chief of the Buchanan Fire Department.